AI can be a cost-effective way for your business to create content and show up online, explaining promotions, giving training, explaining about different offers. There's a lot of flexibility. You can create photorealistic videos or animated style videos. Seen a lot of AI content online recently, and photorealistic images of people that have been that have been brought to life by AI. You can still tell it's AI. I kind of like to lean into that and actually create these more animated style. If you think like big brands have done this, you think like Kellogg's has got like Tony the Tiger, you could have a consistent character like that showing up for your brand, delivering messages, creating content. And you'll see on this video, I'll create using an automation tool to make these videos. You can run it on autopilot. It takes a little bit of setup initially, creating the automation, creating the character, writing the scripts. Of course, you can use things like tools like ChatGPT to help you write those scripts. Let's take a look at the videos that I'm talking about.
When you're busy, I communicate your offer and keep your socials alive.
Of course, the voices and the characters are completely customizable.
I'll post about your offers and services, keeping your salon always visible online.
I can make explainer or training videos for your team or your social media.
But I'm not a presenter or an actor. I'm an AI influencer, built to help local businesses stay visible online.
Yeah, some different examples there of the videos that could be created. Of course, you can put your own spin on it, create a character that works for your business or brand. I've used 11 Labs on here. There is, I don't know how many hundreds, possibly thousands of different voices on 11 Labs, so you can find the right fit for you. I've created these images using AI. We're going to go over in just a sec how I've done that. So I'm using a tool called n8n to make these videos. If you are new to n8n, this is an automation software, and we're using AI within this to pretty much run most of that on autopilot. I'll explain how to do that and how you could build this for yourself now in this video. First off, the characters. I'm using a tool called Key AI. If you've seen other videos that I've made, I use Key AI quite a lot. You can get access to a lot of different AI models using their website without having to have subscriptions to all of the different ones. You can access all of them through this platform. If it's something you want to have a play around with, you can get started with from as little as like $5, buys you some credits. You can start doing this. Predominantly I use it for the API. You can check out some of the other videos I've got. I'm making requests to create things over the API. You can just come in and, like we'll do now, and just use these models from inside the web interface. I'm using this one called Seedream. Couple of different options. You've got text to image or you've got edit. I'm using text to image. I was having a chat with ChatGPT about the different characters that I might test out with this, and I got it to write me a prompt. You could create your own prompt or play around with this one in ChatGPT. You can select the image size, resolution, how many images that you want to create, and then click run. And this is one of the outputs that I've just had from it. What you can do if you wanted to create a consistent character, if you were going to have someone that kept showing up, but you wanted them in like slightly different setting each time, so same character, but like in this one, you want him outside a builder's merchant, maybe on a roof, in a kitchen, wherever it might be, fixing a boiler. You can just download that image and upload it. If you go into the edit, you can then upload an image into here, and then as the prompt, tell it to keep the character the same, and then put it in whatever setting. Perhaps you want it in different like poses, sat at a desk, climbing up a ladder. What you can do now is create all of those different images of the same character in different settings, and then use that. And what this model does, what was happening is we're actually animating the image. So we're creating the voice separate. So we're giving it a character reference image and a script, and then the script is getting turned into audio, and then that audio is being combined with the image by the AI model to bring the image to life with that script. So I think I've explained that. We'll see as we go through this what's happening. So basically what we've done, we've got an image like the one you've just seen there, downloaded it, and then I've uploaded a URL. So that image has to be accessible online somewhere. You need to be able to pass a URL link through. I use Cloudinary. It's a bit like OneDrive or Dropbox or something. And in there, once it's uploaded to Cloudinary, I can just copy the URL. So you can use, there's different tools so you can do that. But basically, like in this spreadsheet, we need to be able to get a URL of where that image is. What I've done on another workflow, I've got about 4 or 5 different images of a character, and then I've just alternated them. So every time it generates one, it's a different picture of the same character, just in a different setting, and it's about every 5 runs through a cycle like that. Of course, you could do more, less, completely up to you. Character idea, okay, we've made a few different ones on this workflow, but you get the idea. You can then label those images, and then with the script, these were just very quick scripts that I've come up with in ChatGPT. Some ideas just to demonstrate what you can do with this. Now, the model will support video animations up to 10 minutes long, so provided that your script doesn't go over 10 minutes, you can just type in whatever you want here. The beauty of doing it like this is sometimes when you're using text to video models, they will kind of change the script sometimes. Often they only make shorter videos. There's some clever stuff that you can do to stitch all these videos together. But I found if you're making, this is like a great way of making those longer videos. I think it works really well, certainly with the animated characters. What we notice here, we've got a voice. So where we've got this from, if you have a look on 11 Labs, go over to 11 Labs website if you've never been on here. They do a lot of text to speech. They've loads and loads of voices on here, and then you can just click through on the voices.
I love the way you look at me.
Oh, please! You really thought you could...
Find something that matches the character, your brand voice, then click on here, click copy voice ID, and then we'll just paste that into where it says voice. To run this, we're going to get into a workflow in a second. We see we've got a drop down menu here. We can select for production on there, and then if we had 30 different entries in, we could have like this one set to for production, or all of them set to for production. Once you're happy with the script and the images and everything that you've put in. So the spreadsheet runs the workflow. We're going to get into that now. If you're completely new to n8n, you've never used this platform before, there is a video, I'll link it in the description, on how to get up and running. So any of these nodes, if you want to build along and you step by step, you'll find those by clicking on the plus icon, and we see that we've got schedule trigger. So we could automate this. So we could have a minute, hour, week, month. You can set your own custom interval and have this run on a schedule. What happened when it runs? What's happening here is we need to set up our Google credential. So we do that by clicking on here, click create new credential. There's a few steps you need. There's a bit of information from Google that you need to be able to set this up. I've got a video that goes more in depth on that. I won't go too much in detail on this video. I'll try and keep it about this workflow. Set up your Google credential. I've got a couple of videos on setting up Google. I'll link both of them actually. And then what we do, select the sheet, select the sheet within that sheet. And so it doesn't do all of them at the same time, we want to filter for production status. We select for production status. If you select the right sheet, that's going to show up. Type in for production. And we only want to do one at a time. So we need to add another option, and then we'll see it says return only the first matching row. We can select that and toggle it on. And that way, each time this workflow is triggered, it's only going to run that one. And we see what it's done is This is the last one that it ran, and it's grabbed that information from the spreadsheet. The next node we've got is an AI agent. It's possible using this workflow to actually have this automation post directly to social media. I've got it disconnected at the moment because I don't want all of these ones that when I'm practicing to go onto the social media accounts that I've got set up within the tool. I'll go over that at the end. But this AI agent will actually create the captions for all of those different platforms. So if it's YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok, the captions for each of them are slightly different. And inside here, this prompts it, just saying it to write it. The green value is a dynamic value. So what we've done is, if you any of those, you can just drag and drop that. You can drag and drop those in there from that script that you've got inside the sheet. Each one's going to be different, so I can promote your offers whilst you're busy. The system message, a little bit different. This is giving the AI agent its role in life. I'm not going to read through all of this, but feel free to screenshot it if you want to use that there. Or I can make the template available. If I put a link to that in the description, or reach out if I haven't and remind me. It'll take me a minute just to get that sorted out once I've recorded this video. But I'll probably get time to do that tomorrow. When I'm on that as well, don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you do find this content useful, I'd love to hear about it either in the comments. If there's things I can do to improve as well, I'm up for a bit of positive criticism. So yeah, if it's helpful. And if you need like help or me to explain things different, if you want me to make videos in a different way, then again, please feel free, leave that in the comments, or reach out to me if you want some help. Your AI agent, a couple of things if you're setting this up, it's going to need to be able to connect it with this. So what you see under chat model, if you click on the plus icon, there's a lot of different AI models that you can connect to. I like to use ChatGPT. You only need it set up to an account. Click on create new credential. What I'll do, I'll drop a link to a video that explains how to do that in more depth. Select a model then that it can connect to. I always connect a think tool to it. It just gives that AI agent the ability then to think more about its answers. So under tools, you click on the plus icon and go and think, and then all I've done is this is the default message that stays in there. I've never changed it. Seems to work well. The next one, we've got a little bit of code. Don't worry about this, just a copy and paste job. Feel free to either screenshot it, or this will come along. This is like pre-populated. If you just use the template, you can screenshot it. I'll get ChatGPT to write this for me. Now this is where we can do some pretty cool stuff. So this next node is a HTTP request. It's quite common, and this is what we use in n8n to be able to call on external tools. We're using a website called WaveSpeed, and on WaveSpeed, like you see on Key AI there, they've got lots of different AI models on there. So instead of having lots and lots of different subscriptions, we can access 11 labs, where we got that voice ID from, through WaveSpeed. You have to pay on a monthly with an 11 labs, but with WaveSpeed you can just top up with credits. Save for like accumulating loads and loads of different monthly subscriptions. You will need to set up an account with them, and then you can go on, once you've set up an account, top up with some credits, and you can go into API, create an API key. If you go in here and click create new credential, you can put that, you can set that up in there. Create separate little videos for all of those stages that we find ourselves doing over and over again in all of the videos. So all you need to do to set this up is to click on generic credential type, head it off, and then select your WaveSpeed AI credential. And then we're going to be sending body. Now all of this is available in their API documentations. If you're not familiar with like JSON or any code in it, don't worry, it is really just a copy and paste exercise. The only thing we've got is, see like these green values here, these are dynamic values. And what we do is we just pull those. So that voice ID, if you remember, we've put the voice ID in the spreadsheet. What we can do is just find that, drag that across, drop that in there, and then it's going to take the one from your spreadsheet. So you might have different characters, different voices. That'll always then give you the one that you've put in the spreadsheet. The text, that's your script. We can just drag that across, drop it in there. That way it'll update the script every time. It doesn't create instantaneously, so the next node that we've got is a wait node. We just set this to wait for 15 seconds. Next node's a HTTP request. And what this is doing, that URL, this time instead of a post, it's a GET request. And then this URL is being provided that from WaveSpeed. We just drag and drop that across. Selecting the same credential as you did before, so it's generic header, and then select your WaveSpeed credential. After we've waited, if you can't get it, the WaveSpeed gives us a status. So on that status, we've got here, we just drag that and drop that in there if you're setting this up with us, and into this one as well. So if that is equal to completed, then it runs down the success path, and if it's processing, it runs through the processing, and then there's a fallback option where if there's an error, it just stops. You can send that over to Google Sheets node, and then you can have it update that sheet that there was an error, send you an email. There's different error handling things that we've got, which I've not set up on this one. If it's processing, runs back around the wait node again, and for 15 seconds goes again. Success, it runs through to this node, which is HTTP request. We're posting to WaveSpeed AI again, but this time we're posting to a different model. So the URL's changed. We get this off of WaveSpeed's website. We just find infinitalk, and they've got all of the API documentation there. That's where I found this URL. And then selecting that WaveSpeed credential again, send body, JSON. The body that we're sending is different. You can either copy and paste what I've got here, or in their API docs. Again, these dynamic values, we've got the audio, that's the output that has come. This one here, that's the output from the 11 Labs HTTP request that we did. The image, that's, if we go back to our spreadsheet, that's the image reference. That's the URL where that image is living. We've got a wait node. This time set it for a little longer because to create the video does take a little bit longer. Where it's got 4 here, you can see that's actually run around 4 times. So it's taken a couple of minutes to create the video. Now we've got a HTTP request. It's a GET request, and then to the URL that we've been provided by WaveSpeed, dynamic value, just drag that across there if you're building along, and select your credential type. We don't need to worry about any of the other stuff. The switch is just acting in that way where if we can see status, so you just drag that across into this field, If it's equal to completed, carries on to the Sheets node, processing, background to the wait node, and again with the fallback we can set up different error handling depending on what works for you. The next node now, this is going to update our spreadsheet. So we select our Google account, sheet within a document. This time it's going to be update a row. Make sure we connect to the correct spreadsheet. And we need to match on a column. What we've done here is to match on the ID. And this dynamic value comes from here. We go into right at the beginning. We've got an ID on that sheet. We can drag that across. That's the column it's going to update. We want it to change the production status to done. Type that in. We don't need to worry about these. That information is already on the sheet. But what we'll do is just with the video URL here, make sure we get the output. All we need to do is just drag and drop that across, and we can take this, we can copy and paste this into a browser tab, and that will take you straight to the video. In this instance, what it's done, that's this video URL here.
I can promote your offers whilst you are busy.
And that was the output from this run. The last bit of the workflow, just to run over real quick, we've got a few nodes here from a platform called Potato. This will allow you to automatically post this content. couple of different ways you can do it. Like with the TikTok node, you can post just the drafts and then go on, or you might want to get an alert. You could get an email with a link to that. You could just double check, put a human in the loop. Or you can have it just upload the videos. So if we drag this across and connected it up, which I won't do on this because I don't want these posted to the social platforms I'm logged into on Potato. To give you a quick rundown of how that works. Firstly, they are community nodes, so you need to go into your n8n settings and make sure you turn verify community nodes on. Once you've done that, click on the plus icon, search for Potato, and then you'll be able to and then install it, and then you can use these nodes. You're going to need an account with them. Here's a paid membership. I think it's about $30-ish, and you can connect to loads of different social media accounts. First thing we do is we upload the image or the video URL to Potato's servers, and then we can select the various different accounts. Each of these nodes, search for Potato, and these are create a post, and then when we create each post, what we need to do is on the Potato website we sign into each of those accounts, select the account from the drop down, select the platform. Just be careful when you're using this. The different platforms have got different rules on it, but they want you to tag AI generated content as AI generated. You can see on the input section, because the node's not connected, it's not got anything there, but like we've done before, if you went back to let's just do that. What we can do, if we go back down here, we can see we've got these dynamic values. We've got TikTok captions, Instagram captions, YouTube. What we can do, let's say if this was connected and run through, then this would show up green. You can just drag and drop the right ones into there. So obviously Instagram for Instagram. Just bearing in mind what I was saying about tagging content. Some, like TikTok, has got a little toggle, so you can actually toggle to tell the platform that it's AI generated. What I like to do is just add the plain text at the end. So this is the dynamic value, but no matter what captions that AI agent has created, I want to make sure it's tagged as AI. So I've put either like created by, made by AI. So I have my own captions on there. If you want me to do a full video on how to set Potato up and how to automate the posting, let us know in the comments. We have to make that video. Just don't want to connect this now and post this. If you've got any other questions, if you want help or any more training on setting these up, do feel free, reach out to me, either TikTok, Instagram, in the comments. I'll be happy to help. If there's any other videos you like, or let's say if you've got, I wanted to sort of do a little bit of an array here, different video ideas. If you've got some of your own you'd like me to see me bring to life, reach out to me. Always up for a bit of inspiration. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video.